Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you probably noticed, we have yet another backdrop change. I like to keep you guys on your toes, but really my husband actually used to work in this office and he moved his office to our basement. So it freed up this room, at least until we have baby number 2, for me to film in and kind of store my makeup. That's like my makeup storage. And it's also a guest room. So I'm gonna be in here for now, and we'll see how long this one lasts. I've talked a little bit about it on Instagram, but I just wanted to say something real quick before we get into the video here as well. Obviously, there's been a lot going on in our world since I filmed that video a couple of weeks ago, and I would be remiss to not mention anything or say anything at all. It feels like in times like these, there's really nothing that you can do. You want to go out and fix the world, but you just don't know where to start. But I feel like as a mother, and for fellow mothers out there, our job and our calling after everything that we've seen going on in our world is just to raise the next generation to have hearts full of love and kindness, and to teach our children that any sort of hatred just should not be tolerated. I know that's what I teach in my home and what my husband and I believe, and even if I'm only able to raise a few humans out of the next generation, I hope I raise good ones. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Today I'm going to be talking about drugstore powders, my absolute favorite drugstore powders. I made this video back in 2017, and this is the update with all the new products that I've been loving. There are 2 powders that made it from my last video, so it just shows how much I love those powders. But there have been a few new arrivals that have made their way into the top of my list as well. Alright, so the first powder I want to talk about is one of the ones that made it from my previous list, and it is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. This stuff is gold. It's only $3.99. I believe it's the cheapest powder out of all of the ones I'm going to mention. I feel like they could have raised this price so much and people would still buy it because it's such an amazing product, but the price point just makes it that much more amazing. If you have oily skin especially, you need this in your life. It does such an amazing job of controlling oil. It's also a really great touch-up powder, so if you find that you get oily around the 5 or 6 hour mark, you can go ahead and blot and then reapply this, and it just remattifies the skin and gives you another solid 5 hours of wear time. It claims 5 hours of oil control, and I find that that's accurate. A lot of makeup products claim like 24 hours or 48 hours or insane claims, but this one is 5 hours, which if you have oily skin, you know that there's no such thing as a product that's going to make you not at all shiny for 24 hours, but this will get you through most of your day before you're going to be shiny at all. This comes in 3 shades. I prefer transparent. I'm not looking to add any coverage with this powder. I just want it to control my oil throughout the day. The only thing that I wish is that it had different packaging, because this would be the perfect powder to keep in your purse, but because the packaging is like this kind of flimsy plastic, I find that it breaks when I try and keep it in my purse. But if you are in a pinch, one thing that I found is you can remove the lid and put it in a Ziploc bag and carry it around like that, and it works just as well. Alright, the next one is not going to be a surprise to any of you that have been watching my videos recently. I am in love with this powder, and I think it deserves all the hype that it gets, and it is the No. 7 Lift and Luminate powder. This one's definitely more pricey at $12.99, but if you haven't seen my dupe video, this is definitely a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush, is it Airbrush Flawless powder? Something along those lines. This to me does the exact same thing as that powder. I own both of them and they're pretty interchangeable. And the packaging on this is really beautiful. If part of the reason that you don't enjoy drugstore makeup or you don't buy as much drugstore makeup is because you don't like the look of kind of flimsy, plasticky products, this is the best of both worlds. It performs like a high-end product. It looks like a high-end product, and it's at such a reasonable price point. It comes in 4 different shades. There's light, light medium, medium, and deep. There's no translucent shade with this formula as of right now. I have the shade light medium. I feel like I could have gone with the shade light for underneath my eyes, but for setting the rest of my face, this is a really good shade. It claims to have 3 age-defying results. I'll just read them real quick. Reducing the appearance of fine lines, evening out skin tone, and visibly smoothing the skin. I don't know about removing your fine lines. I don't think there's a product that can do that. That's not done at a dermatologist's office. But as far as making your skin look flawless and airbrushed, this is unlike any other powder I'm going to mention from that perspective. If you have larger pores, I feel like this does such a good job of masking them and leaves your skin looking just so incredibly smooth. Alright, next up is a loose powder, again by No. 7. This brand has just been killing it lately, and for those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, I have raved about No. 7 forever. But just to be clear, I'm not even on their PR list. I don't get sent anything. I'm not sponsored to say anything. I got a couple of comments saying like, what's all this hype all of a sudden with number 7? And it's just because their makeup is that good. Like I said, this is a loose powder. I have mine in the shade Translucent, and this actually has vitamin E, provitamin B5, and hyaluronic acid in it. So it's really good for drier skin. If you have dry skin and powder scares you, this is a really good one to try out because it's not gonna dry you out. It's just gonna reduce the shiny look in the areas where you don't want shine, help your makeup last, but it also helps hydrate your skin with the vitamins and hyaluronic acid in it. I have trouble sometimes with loose powder just making my skin look like it's gonna crack. And that is not the case with this one. It really does leave your skin looking like skin, and that's what I want out of a powder. Help my makeup last, don't make me shiny, and don't make it look like I'm wearing just a face full of powder, because that can really add to the look of cakiness and age you unnecessarily. So love, 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 and highly recommend. All right, next up is actually the powder I'm wearing today, and it is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. I have mine in the shade, again, Translucent. If that's offered with powder, I usually go with Translucent because I'm not looking for a whole lot of added coverage with powder. If I want coverage, I'll go with like a powder foundation. But when it comes to just setting my makeup, I just want it to remove shine, not add any additional coverage, because I've worked so hard on finding foundations and concealers that match my skin perfectly that I don't want the powder to screw it up by adding more pigment where I don't need it. The thing that sticks out to me the most with this powder is just how silky it is. It really does make my skin feel like silk. I don't know if I mentioned this is the one that I'm wearing today. And after I put it on, my skin really does feel like a silk pillowcase. It's amazing. I can really go to town with this even underneath my eyes, and I never look cakey, which is really hard to achieve with a loose powder, especially because you kind of have to be careful not to pack it on too much, but this is really user friendly. And you also get a lot of product. This is a huge container and it's only $5.99. So for those of you with really oily skin looking for more of an oil control situation with your loose powder, I would say go with this one over the number 7 one. This does a better job of actually controlling the oil, whereas the number 7 one is not made for that. All right, and last but not least is another loose powder. I didn't realize how many loose powders I had in this video, but I mentioned this in my What's New at the Drugstore video, and I've just been really, really loving it. It's the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This retails for $8 and comes in 3 shades, light, medium, and dark. Like I said in that video, it claims to be created with synthetic sapphire particles, which is what gives it that glowy finish. I don't know what it is, but this definitely passes the natural light test. It somehow takes away the shine, but also adds in a beautiful luminosity to where your skin is still looking like skin. It definitely makes your skin look smooth and blurs your imperfections. All of these powders do, or they wouldn't make it into this video, because that's really what I look for out of a powder. That and makeup longevity. So for those of you that have been interested in products like the Hourglass setting powder, powders that still leave your skin with a lot of dimension, I would say give this one a try. I was like, do I really need another powder in my life? But I'm really glad that I picked this up because it's quickly become one of my favorites. And that is gonna be it for this video. I hope that you guys found it helpful. As always, let me know what video you wanna see down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.